Welcome back, my dear student. So, on the last video, we went ahead and moved a lot of things from registration.php, a lot of code to this new function that we created called register user. We're gonna come back to this later on, but I want to do something before we finish this up. All right. First of all, we need to create some type of validation for our registration.php. All right. Right now, we don't have any validation, and it's time for us to start creating that validation. All right. We need to validate the username, validate the email, validate the password, and according to that, we'll register the user or not. And according to that, we'll also redirect the user and all that. All right. All right. So we're going to be taking some parameters here, right? Let's go back to our functions.php, and this is what we're going to be using. All right, so let's take that and let's paste it right here. All right, let's do something here real quick. Let's trim it. All right, we're going to use this function here to take the white space out. All right, we don't want anything to do with white space. All right, especially if we're going to take this to our database and check, right? So we're going to trim this, and it's just going to be a lot easier to check. All right, beautiful. So now what I want to do is I also want to create an array, and we're going to create an associative array. And some of you have asked me, why don't I give more examples about arrays? And on this lecture, I'm going to give you an example on how we use associative arrays. All right, one useful feature here would be this errors array containing some of our errors, which is going to be pretty cool. Right now, I'm going to set it to empty because we're going to fill this up later. When we have email, we're going to set these keys to empty for now, okay? And there we go. The last one doesn't have a comma, right, guys? You know that. All right. So the first validation here, let's just use another function, strlen. This function is going to check to see how big our character, how many characters we got. What's the length of this field? This one's going to be username. And if this one is less than, I don't know, 5, less than 4, then of course we're going to have a problem with this guy, right? Well, not necessarily, right? We're going to actually put some values in this key username. All right. What values are those? Well, right now we're checking to see if it has 4 characters or less. So we're going to say the username needs to be longer. Of course, you're welcome to put whatever you want, guys. Semicolon. There we go. So what else can we check for? Well, we can check to see if the username is empty, right? So let's just copy this whole thing here. And this one is just going to be simple. Just going to put that here. Let's just delete this. And then we just say username cannot be empty or something like that. There we go. What else? What about our function that we have in functions.php? Username exists. What about that one? We can use that one here, right? That would be nice. So let's use it. If username, and I think this is the name, you might want to copy and paste just to make sure. All right, then we're gonna say something like username already exists. Pick another one. Or we can actually give them a link so they can log in. How about that? But that's fine. That's fine. We'll do that with the email, actually. All right. Let's check for the email now. So let's come back here and we just need to check for the email. We already have a JavaScript validation, but if that doesn't go through, we'll check for the email. Let's copy this too, because we have a email exists functionality too. So here, all we have to do is change all this to email. The email cannot be empty. I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna replace that here. I'll replace that here. I'll replace that here and here, here. There we go. And the only difference here would be that we can provide these users a link, and we're gonna say go to index and log in, right? So we'll say something like we'll give them a link here, and we're gonna say please log in. Let me see if my link is okay. Please log in. All right, what else are we missing? Well, we have the password. So let's do a check for the password. All right. And this one is this. We can say password cannot be empty. There we go. All right. So we have done a lot here so far. We're going to leave it at this in this lecture. In the next lecture, we're going to continue making this a lot better. All right. Thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you in the next lecture.